I'm reading To Be a Drum in his soft voice, the voice that could tap, tap, tap Matt and Martha gently on their hearts.
Today I'm going to be reading to you Sebastian's roller skate. Sebastian didn't talk very much. Even though he had a lot to say, Sebastian was shy. Hush. What he wanted to say, though, was that someday he'd like to be tall enough to reach every single button in the elevator.
Today we're going to be reading a story by Chi-Wan Chin called Guji Guji. Finally, it rolled into a duck's nest. Mother Duck didn't notice.
Today I'm reading Sophie's Masterpiece by Eileen Spinelli. Sophie was no ordinary house spider. When Sophie arrived at the age when a young spider must strike out on her own, she moved to Beekman's boarding house.
Today we're going to read the book Stella Luna by Janelle Cannon. In a warm and sultry forest far, far away, plop, in dropped a big green grasshopper. Tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. She cried.
All about remembering memories. It's titled Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge. There once was a small boy called Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge. And what's more, he wasn't very old either.
Today, we're going to be reading No Mirrors in My Nana's House. So the beauty that I saw in everything, the beauty in everything, was in her eyes.
The Night I Followed the Dog. It's written and illustrated by Nina Layden. I have a dog. Nothing exotic or special, just an ordinary dog. In fact, I always thought he was a boring dog. What I mean is, he can fetch, roll over, and shake hands, but mostly he sleeps and eats.
Everybody knows that honey is delicious in tea, but can you imagine pouring it on a book? Well, Patricia Polacco can. She's the author and illustrator of a wonderful book called Thank You, Mr. Fokker. The grandpa held the jar of honey so that all the family could see. Then he dipped a ladle into it and drizzled honey on the cover of a small book.
So it is going to be my pleasure to read to you today this book, My Rotten Red-Headed Older Brother by Patricia Polacco. My brother and our mother and I all lived with my grandparents on their farm in Union City, Michigan. And she knew how to make the best chocolate cake in Michigan.
Called Knots on a Counting Rope.
And it was written by Bill Martin Jr. and John Archambault.
There'll be a last time. Promise me that. Promise me.
I promise you nothing, boy.
Start where the storm was crying my name.
You know the story, boy. Tell it.
No, grandfather, no. Start, it was a dark night.
It was a dark night.
Hi, I'm Al Gore, and this is part of the Book Pals program. And today, I'm going to read you this book, written and illustrated by William Steig. It's called Brave Irene. Got in front of Irene to keep her from moving ahead. Irene turned around and pressed on backwards. Go home, the wind squalled. Irene, go home. I will do no such thing, she snapped. No such thing, you wicked wind. Go home, the wind yodeled. Go home.
The story I'm going to read to you is called A Bad Case of Stripes, written and illustrated by David Shannon. Today, she was fretting even more than usual. Her mother ran into the room, and she screamed too. Oh, my heavens, she cried. You're completely covered with stripes. This was certainly true. Camilla was striped from head to toe.
Private Iguana, the case of the missing chameleon. I was sitting at my desk when I got the call. Private Iguana here, I said. Yes, I can find missing lizards.
Today I'll be reading something special. Somebody Loves You, Mr. Hatch, is the story today. Every morning at 6:30 sharp, he would leave his brick house and walk 8 blocks to the shoelace factory where he worked.
I'm Lou Diamond Phillips, and today we're reading The Polar Express, written and illustrated by Chris Van Allsburg. This is a wonderful Christmas book and a gift of literacy to children everywhere. On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house, stairs and out the door. "All aboard!" the conductor cried out.
Called Me and My Cat by Satoshi Kitamura. Late one night, an old lady in a pointed hat came in through my bedroom window. She brandished her broom at me and fired out some words. Then she left without saying goodbye. Nicholas, wake up. You'll be late for school.
Hey, we're going to be reading a book called Dad, Are You the Tooth Fairy? Gaby had a loose tooth. But Gaby didn't mind, for he had had loose teeth before.
I'm going to be reading When Picasso Met Matisse, written and illustrated by Nina Layden. There once was a young pig named Picasso. While the other piglets rolled in the mud and played games, Picasso painted. He painted anything and everything, and in a most unusual way.